Today I'll be sharing how do I create watch lists by using scanners. Today's session would be less of a presentation and more of hands-on work on charts and tooling. I will be recording the session. Actually, the recording have started, so don't worry about that. And just like all the other sessions, this will also be an interactive session where you can ask questions as we go. I'll try to leave time at the end of the session as well. That being said, let's get started. Uh, First of all, the basic disclaimer, the following content is for casual learning in a non-professional setting. Please consult your tax, financial, legal advisor before entering any investment. I am neither of the above. Agenda, these are the topics which I plan to cover today. Why scanners, then how to create a scanner on Thinkorswim, what to look for in scan results, example of scanners on Finviz and its significance, then creating a watch list, and at the end, some time for Q&A. All right. So primarily, why scanners? Why do I use scanners, and what's the need, and why do folks use scanner? So scanners gives you you have some preconditions defined. You have some conditions in your mind, like if price crosses 200-day moving average, I want all the results. Instead of scanning through thousands and thousands of charts, these scanners gives you spits out the results based on your predefined conditions, and it saves time. The third reason is actually a very good one, which people tend to forget. It basically gives you quick reference during market hours when you have to act quickly. If you have predefined scanners during market hours when you have to take actions quickly, you can actually refer to them, and it will give you the results based on your predefined criteria. I'll show you an example of how it can actually help during market hours, how having scanners or some kind of scanners, of course, not all, can help during market hours. Okay, let's move on. Scanners. So I'll walk you through some of the scanners. One is 9-day moving average crossing 20 and 50. I'll go over the oversold scanner as well. And I'll show you how do I use the results to actually create a watch list, or how do I make sure that the results which are being scanned or which I've been shown out of the scanning results, how do I make use of those? So I'll move on to share my Thinkorswim platform. Let me, 1 second. Don't know where did it go. Okay. Are you guys able to see the Thinkorswim platform? Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So there is, I'm not sure if everybody is aware of this platform. This is by TD Ameritrade. This is what I primarily use for scanners. I'm going to quickly show you how do I create scanners in here. It doesn't have to be limited to this platform. You can use you can use the settings or the filters which I use here, and can apply to whatever tool or whatever trading platform you use. Most of them should have scanning facility available. Okay, so I wanted to show 9-day moving average. So I have a bunch of scanners over here predefined. If you don't, one. Okay. So basically, what I'll go over each of them. Why this? What is each of them doing? First of all, I want to list all the stocks which have value greater than $5. Now, why five? Because lower than five, it becomes a penny stock, and I don't trade in penny stock, so I want something which is greater than five. The second is based on volume. So this one this is just random 147. You can choose 200, 300. So basically, it should not have volume less than a threshold, and that's what I want. The reason I want volume in the stock is because of liquidity. I don't want an illiquid stock where I'm stuck with my position for long. Then the third option is options. I want the results given to me which are optionable. So the reason primarily being that I mostly trade options. So some of the stocks, I don't know if you guys are aware that some of the stocks might not be optionable. That's why I just want the results out of the scanner, which is optionable, and that's why volume of option 12. This is not hard and fast rule that you need to choose these values. You can choose any based on your criteria. This is just a minimum threshold which I have kept. Now here comes the fun part: study. So here you can add a filter from this group, study. In this study, there are lots of options you're given. You can go over each of them if you want, but I'll just stick to one of them which I want to show here. So this study, moving average crossover. If you go in price performance somewhere, popular studies, moving average crossover, some utility crossovers, yeah. So here you'll see moving or average crossover. Now I've already established my scanner, or I've already put in some values. So I'm just going to delete that and I'll show you what I had. So the first one is when 9-day moving average, simple moving average crosses above 20-day moving average. And I've taken this. So here is where you can define your time frame. I've kept it as daily. So the criteria is I want at the daily close, I want all the stocks which have with whose 9-day moving average have crossed above 20 and above 50. So this will be and. So the first one is 9/20 and the second one is 9/50. And when I click scan, the results which are shown to me are basically for the stocks which have crossed 9/20 and 50 both. So these are the results which I've received after I have filtered out. Now what I do is after these two after I got these two, I'll go in my trading view where I have all the charts. So WB and LBTYA. So if I put in WB first, you guys are able to see Think or Sim trading view right now.
Yes. Yeah.
So if I see here, see this 9-day moving. So this yellow is my 9-day, the green is 20-day, and the red is 50-day. If you see here, I'm going to zoom out a bit. 9 crosses 20 and 50 both. Now I'm interested in this stock. The reason I'm interested in this stock is usually this is a sign of an uptrend. When I say usually, of course, nothing is hard and fast when we are trading. You're going to get false signals as well. Now, usually this signifies an uptrend, a beginning of an uptrend. Now, when I have received this WB, what I do is I go in here in my trading view platform. I look at how the chart is faring. If it's daily breakout, what kind of chart I'm getting. So when I look at this, see this beautiful trend line here, it has just broken out of this trend line, which also gives me a double confirmation that yes, it might be start of some kind of a run here. Now what I do is this is essentially my homework, or what I do by how I create a watch list out of my scanners. So if you see here, I'll just draw some trend lines or some support and resistance line. This is a resistance, clear resistance, which has been broken right now. So it has this price action yesterday. This broke, I think it was due to earnings, whatever the reason, or earnings are due in 2 days. Whatever the reason may be, it has broken double resistance, this trend line and this horizontal resistance. And it has crossed above the 9 EMA or 9-day simple moving average have crossed above 20 and 50. When this happens, I usually take note, and this will basically go into my watch list. Why? Because it has broken double resistance and 9 have crossed 20. So I'll just keep a note of it and make sure that I watch it closely during the next trading day. Now there are a bunch of things which can happen. Either it bases over here and then breaks out in next few days, or it can completely come back in here and breaks down. In both the ways, I'll just keep an eye how it is behaving from previous days. So what I'll do is I'll look into the hourly chart and basically see these were my horizontal trend lines or or angled trend lines. Now I'll basically see how it reacts next day on Monday. I'll see how it reacts, whether it comes back to this support and goes up, or is it directly going up, or it completely breaks down and come inside this channel once again. If it completely breaks down and it comes inside a channel, this might be a very good short opportunity. If it bases here and then it's trying to go up, that might be a very good long opportunity, and not a short term long. In fact, it might be a very good long term long opportunity, as in a couple of months position. So basically this WB, this looks good to me. This will go in my watch list and I'll keep an eye and basically see from there how it goes. Now the other signal or the other ticker was LBTYA. LBT. Okay, this is also decent looking. So what I'll do is I'll of course this 9 crosses 50 and 20. I'll try to build some support and resistances. Now here, this is I won't say completely opposite, but there is a different aspect or this different view than WB what we saw earlier. Here I am anticipating an immediate resistance just 50 cents above from where it closed, and it is a decent resistance. Why a decent resistance? Because see here, this was a decent support at this time. It broke here. It tried once, twice, thrice. It couldn't break out. So even right here, I anticipate it to be a decent resistance. So this, to me, I won't keep it in my watch list primarily because it's not near support, but it is not even near resistance. If it would have been somewhere here, like 50 cents up, then I might have played a breakout play or a breakdown play there. But this is something which is not interesting to me right now. This is just one of my scanner. This is just one of my scanner which fetches me some results. So if I keep adding all the results from here, the watch list is going to be huge. The primary intention of watch list is to keep all the A plus setup or the ones which I feel that they might react in market open the next day. And that's the reason I'll just ignore LBTYA and I'll just keep WB. Any questions on this scanner before we move to the oversold scanner?
So this is only based on those parameters, right, Sarthak?
Yes, these parameters which I have defined.
Right, correct. So like for example, like stock splits and all those won't be accounted here, right?
The which one?
Like we have like breakouts for Apple, right, for stock splits and Tesla stock splits news and all. So they won't be accounted here, right?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I don't think that will be accounted over here, but those are very minimum, as in that happens once in a while. So
Okay.
they are not you. So Tesla, Apple, all those are anyways on top of my head or on top of my scanning results. So I don't need to look for those results in here. These are for the ones which are not regularly traded, or those which doesn't catch my eye during market hours.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Can we use the scanner in the trading view?
Oh, yes, that's a good question again. Let me pull up my trading view. So there is a scanner over here. If you go here, screeners, here you can define a bunch. I haven't played with it a lot, but from here you can use technical, and basically this shows exponential moving average below or above some value. You can just play with that. So this also provides you some scanning results, but I haven't played with it a lot.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay, so one scanner which I want to show you, which might be useful during market hours as well, is oversold scanner. Let me. Okay. Yeah, so I'll show you what this. Basically, the top criteria remains the same. The stock option, the volume. I'm only interested in the volume, which is huge. The reason being, a lot of stocks can be oversold, but I'm only looking for the ones which are very highly traded, because those usually, when they are oversold, they try to come back to the mean, and that's where the interesting action is. Similarly, volume, I've just tried to, option volume is higher than the previous one because I'm interested in the ones which is very, very liquid. So I'll show you this custom query. What is this? So this is nothing but, by now you guys must be familiar with at least RSI, if not stochastic, slow, and William percentage R. These are nothing but some kind of indicators. You can feel free to, I'll share the video anyways, feel free to Google what this is, stochastic and William percentage R. I'm not going to go into the details because it will deviate from the agenda. But what I can tell you here is, when RSI is less than 30, it's considered as oversold. Similarly, stochastic slow, when it's less than 20, it's considered oversold. And William percentage R, when it's less than -80, it's considered oversold. So what I've tried to do is I've combined all three into one. So this is basically and, this is not or. If a stock has RSI less than 30 and slow K is less than 20 and William percentage R is -80, then it will come in my scanning results. And this is the time frame which I've chosen is 15 minutes. I can choose 1 hour or 2 hours, whatever. The reason I'm choosing 15 minutes is because of the intraday moves. So 1 hour signal, 1 hour oversold. I'll show you what happens with 1 hour as well. Let it spit out some results, and then we'll go over what's the importance. So what I'm trying to look here is during markets, not during sell-offs, but regular drawdowns during market hours. If there is a regular drawdown and a stock, let's say Apple, Tesla, or Facebook, those kind of stocks, they are moving down. Usually what happens is, if they are in oversold territory, they tend to move up. I'll show you with an example what I mean. So this has given me a result for W, Okta, DKNG. All these, probably you might be aware of these stocks. If not, that's also fine. What I'll show you here is W 15 minutes. Let's go in 15 minutes. So this is RSI. This is just RSI. If you see here, 15 minutes RSI W. In the past, I try to look at the past data then. In the past, there have been very few occasions where it has dipped to this low, like value of 20. Now, if you see here, this was 23. Sorry, this was 23. And immediately after one dip, it just shot up from here. So in a strong uptrend, I'll show you where W has been. Sorry, I just assume you guys are aware of how W has been trading. This W from March low, this was at 20. Right now it's at 300. So you can see what kind of run it has had. So in a strong uptrend, even if when a stock gets oversold on a 15 minutes or a 30 minute or a 1 hour period, it tries to move up, and that's the signal which I'm trying to get upon and trade. So if you see this one, this RSI was 8. This was very, very low, not even, oh, this is on daily RSI is even more better. But let's go back to 15 minutes. So I look at the past data and see how it has reacted when the RSI has gone this low, and that's the intention of this this scanner. What I want to show is, let me actually go in here, charts. Yeah. Okay. W. One second. Yeah, just bear with me 1 second. Okay, not this one. our size is this. Okay, let's see. No, I think that one is different. Anyways, I'll share something offline. Actually, this is, there was a scanner which showed. All right, let me do that actually, since we have time. Let me close everything we have. Okay, William percentage R and stochastic. Stochastic add selected. Okay. Now all three are given, and let me turn off. So this is 5 minutes. I want 15 days. And okay, this might look overwhelming a bit, but what I'm trying to signify is watch here. Everything is oversold at this point. Now let's try to get back to a place where everything was oversold previously and then see how the prices reacted. If you see here, this was one occasion where everything was oversold right here. See this one, this one, this one, all the three are oversold. What happened was from 290 to 302. This is a decent movement for intraday options. This is how it reacted. I'm not bothered about gaining everything else, but immediate knee-jerk reaction to the upside because it has been oversold. Now what happens again, if you see here, this was oversold. So this light blue shade is signifying RSI is oversold. Here, this one is William percentage oversold, this if it goes below this line, and this stochastic slow is oversold. Now here is when it happened, and from 293 to at least 302 again. So actually, if you go back, sorry. Here again, this was way oversold, everything oversold, and it got back. So in a strong uptrend, if all three are oversold, they tend to come up, and that's what I'm trying to get out of. There was one more Octa. Let's try to do that. So Octa, if you see here, there have been bunch of mixed signals here. There have been a lot of occasions where, so this one, it went down and then back up. Here, it went down, it went back up. Here, it went down, then a bit up, then again back down. So in a strong uptrend, and Octa is also something which was showing a strong uptrend. So if you combine these three oversold signals into one and apply it to a 15-minute or a greater signal, you might get some intraday moves. If you see Apple, when did that happen to Apple? Here, 15 minutes oversold just once in what last few days. Of course, Apple has been just trucking along. If you see this, oversold, and then it never looked back. Then here, oversold, it got oversold here, here, here. So these are the false move which you need to be aware of. So here, if you just go by this, you probably would have taken a long trade and you would have stopped out. That's fine. That's the nature of this game. You have to stop out. Here, here, here. Now here is where the actual oversold happened. It went below 10. Now this, you can probably create your scanners in a way that RSI, if it's below 10, below 15, you just want to see those signals. And that will only give you the ones which are really oversold. So when you look at this here, you can probably, again, sideways action, you would have probably stopped out. And finally here, you would have scored a beautiful uptrend. So this is something which I use intraday when the market is doing okay. It's not falling a lot. And the stock which you are looking into is probably coming to a price point where you can buy. This is how I use this oversold scanner. Any question on that? Cool. I'll take that as a no. Then we can move on. Okay. So yeah, I discussed about 9-day moving average crossing over 20 and 50, then oversold scanner. How does it look like on multiple time frames? So what I mean by that was similar to what this one, WB. If you look at this on daily, it broke out. Yes. On weekly, if you extend this, this is basically, this trend line is coming from a long time. So this to me becomes even more better because it's trying to break out on a weekly time frame. Always remember, the higher the time frame, the better the signal is. So this is what I meant by try to look for multiple time frames. And where is it coming from? Does it have some base action versus straight up? I think I discussed how LBTYA was. So let's move on. Yeah. So this is something which I do other than my Think or Swim platform. These are some of the scanners which I try to use post market to figure out what kind of stocks might be interesting moving forward. So let's try to. So first one is oversold and greater than 200-day moving average. What's the significance of this? Basically, everyone says that nothing good happens below 200-day moving average. Everything has to be above 200-day moving average for it to trend to the upside. Now, usually most of the stocks are trading, or most of the momentum stocks are trading above 200-day moving average. But when they have a pullback, they usually try to still stay above 200-day moving average. So what I'm trying to get out of this scanner is it has to be oversold and greater than 200-day moving average. So then usually what happens is if it's oversold, then we'll get proper signals. And if it's over 200-day moving average, what it means is, one moment guys, I think Zoom is running. Yeah, so Zoom will run out in 8 minutes. Try to log back in with the same link. Okay. So yeah, I'll show you an example of this 200-day moving average. So just remember, oversold reading is only on RSI and nothing else. So ignore all the other indicators which I told you about, but only RSI. So here, RSI is basically 40 or below, and price is greater than 200-day moving average. I can choose this value as 30 as well, but I won't get many results. Why? Because usually if a stock is above 200-day moving average, it doesn't get to these oversold territory. So if you see here, 30 oversold is 30, the value is 30 RSI value, and price is greater than 200. So what I try to look at is, just by looking at these charts, if I'm able to spot any support or resistance. In this DGX, what I see is there might be some support over here. So what I do is DGX, I'll just try to pull in on this time frame and see, okay, so this is daily DGX, and this red line or pink line, this is 200-day moving average. So what happened was it undercut 200-day moving average, then went above. So this is interesting because RSI is oversold, which is under this pink line, pink band, and the price is above 200. It is trying to hold this 200 moving average. So if I have to draw a support or resistance band here, this clearly is one of my support. Now, if I want to go long, what I can do is I can wait for, now I'll drill down to an hourly chart and see how the price is behaving. It moved down quickly, then moved up. This gap fill is now a resistance. So what I'll try to see is if price move above 112 in this case, I'll try to get long because there is a gap fill here which can happen. So all the stocks which are above 200-day moving average, they don't stay in oversold territory for long. The worst case, what will happen is it will go below 200-day moving average and it will still stay oversold. And that's when I'll probably get out of the trade. So this gives you a quick reaction, not just a quick reaction, but a reset of trade. You can consider this as a reset of the uptrend, and this provides you a very good point where you can enter back. Similarly, there was one another QDEL. PLM, this doesn't look, I mean, this is a $3 stock, so I anyways would not look at it. This QDEL is something which looks interesting. See, this is almost similar to the previous one. 200-day moving average, bounced beautifully from 200-day moving average, then oversold and trying to get back up. So again, similar to the last one, if I want to go in the lower time frame, what I can see is actually 4 hours. What I can see is this previous support. It beautifully held this previous support and it's trying to move up. Here, yeah, just one quick little thing. Here, there was a gap. It filled the gap and came down. So what I'll try to see is I won't buy it right here. Either I will wait for it to hit 148 levels again or break out of 180 levels. Why? Because this is a range play. It can take 5 days, 6 days and doesn't do anything. But I know if it breaks 181 level, it might get quickly above 200 levels. Or if it comes back here, 148 levels, then this is a decent support which held multiple times. So I'll play on that. Now the reason I use this scanner is it was a strong uptrend. See this from 80 to 300. Wow. Now, if I want to get back in this stock, if I was eyeing QDEL for a long time, this is a very good opportunity because it's oversold. It's still above 200-day moving average. And here is when I can add to the long side, not short-term options, but to the long side. Yeah. So this was one of the Finviz scanner. The other one is any questions on oversold and 200-day moving average? Cool. So 52-week high. Yeah, this one is something which usually people ignore. They feel that if it's high, it cannot go higher. That's a mistake which plenty of folks, including me, have done in the past. If it's high for a reason, and there is no way it can't go higher. Look for the breakout stocks. Look for the ones which are doing well, and your trading will improve immensely. So this if you see, what I try to see out of this is just a quick glance of where it's coming from. If something is like this ABT, if something has gone up after earnings or after anything, I'll probably ignore. I'm looking for something which is close to the all-time highs. Let's wait for a few minutes for folks to join. Okay, I'll just start. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I was saying that this candle, this is a Maribozu. What it does is basically a big green candle without any wicks. If you see on a 5-minute chart, this was the beginning. It just kept going up and up and up until the very end. Even at the end, it was just a minor pullback, which is kind of expected at the end of profit taking. But this will definitely catch my eye. What I'm trying to suggest here is it broke from weekly resistance with a candle which is very much bullish. Moving forward, I think if markets cooperate, this is going much higher. And what I'll try to do is, if there is a pullback to at least the previous resistance, around 220 levels, I'll probably get in and buy. So this is one of the charts which I really like, and this is exactly what I look for when I hunt for 52 weeks high. Now, okay, this was one. Let's discuss. So this is 52-week high. I'll just go over one. Okay, let me show everything and discuss just one. So this one is 200-day moving average crossover. So I told you, right, 200-day moving, and you saw in a couple of charts, like 200-day moving average is definitely significant. And we do see that prices actually react off that 200-day moving average. Institutions are actually looking at those averages as well. So I try not to ignore what's happening at 200-day moving average. When I look at some chart, if you see here, this is just random basing action. So I'll probably ignore that. What I'm trying to look for is either it should be a support test, or it is something which is breaking out or on a lower time frame. I'll show you what I mean. From here, nothing is actually catching my eye. This you can say FCN. I'll show you why. I don't know what this company does or what is it about. So yeah, this is basically basing. So this line again, this is 200-day moving average. What it's trying to do is look at previous few days action, trying to go up, down, up, down. These are all dojis. So this is something which will probably catch my attention. If I try to bring, if it breaks, basically if it breaks this trend line, this is where the action might happen. Over 118, this is where the action might happen. So this is something which is above 200-day moving average and trying to consolidate in a tight range. As soon as it breaks this line, it's going to go up. So I'm trying to make note of all these. It's basically getting in my watch list. I'll try to watch this the next day. Okay. Then 0 to 3% high from highs. What this does is it basically tells us that it hasn't made a high yet, or it is not at the very high 52-week high, but just under 3%. So this tells you, or this gives an indication that there might be some stocks which is about to break out. So like this one will catch my attention, EDU. This is almost similar to the one which we discussed, the 52-week high, but this gives me even more better results. Why? Because these are the ones which haven't made 52-week high and have potential. So if you look at this is a beautiful chart. Flag is broken on daily. Now here is where the immediate resistance is, and that's where it came down from. So above this week's candle, like above 150 is where you can easily go long for at least this high 153. Still decent amount. Now week up 20%. Yeah, this I don't use this very frequently, but when I use this is, let's say market is down for 2-3 days, not big down, but it's consolidating. So this tells me if a stock, even after market being down a lot, if a stock is up 20% for a week, then that is something to take note of. When market flies, usually those are the stocks which will go up. It's showing you relative strength. So right now the market is anyways going up and up. So this is something which I'll not take note of, because most of the stocks are kind of up on earnings or some news. I will not look at that because market is up. But when markets are down, this scanner comes in very handy, or becomes very handy. The last one is 50-day moving average. Yeah, this lately I've realized that this is something which have been giving me very good results. Institutions watch these two long-term moving average. One is 200-day and the other is 50. If a stock is trending, usually it retests 9-day, 20-day, and then 50-day moving average. 50-day moving average, you can say it's the last hurdle or the last place where a stock is going to bounce if it has something in it. So I'll show you one example before we use the scanner. This Twilio, this was something which I said that it might bounce from here, primarily because this pink line or red line, this is 50-day moving average, and this stock has been running like anything. So it didn't even give 50-day moving average tests even once since May. The price have been running. This is here we got our 50-day moving average first time. So on first time test of 50-day moving average, when a stock is moving beautifully since past few months, this is where institutions are eyeing a support, and this is where you can probably get in, and you should rather get in, because you have only this much points to lose. If it closes below 50-day, you just get out. You don't have a whole lot of support below 50-day. The next support would be either this trend line or eventually then 200-day moving average. But that's a lot. If there is a deeper correction, then I expect it to touch 200-day moving average, but I don't expect these stocks to touch 200-day. Now, if I have to scan through this, we'll just go over one ticker. So this ANET, this is something which will catch my eye because of this trend line support, and it's right there at 50-day. So I'll look at that. I'm just briefly explaining what will catch my eye and how will I. So this AMAT, Applied Materials, this is something which, to me, it tried breaking all-time high. It came back, and right now it's consolidating. So this will, I'll want to explore more. Yeah, so exactly, all-time high. It's trying to, basically it's trying to capture or recapture its 50-day. So this is a no man's land right now. If it needs to move up, it has to go up from here because of the fact that it's 50-day moving average. It tested it once, or it tested this, you can call it a test, yeah. Once, twice, thrice. It's trying to maintain, or it's trying to maintain its uptrend. If it goes down, it would be an easy shot. Cool. This is how I'll use the 50-day moving average. Any questions on these scanners, or how do I use that, or anything related? Cool. If not, so this is basically the meat. Post-market analysis, you should always do post-market analysis and use those scanners, which I have just discussed about, and do your homework and create a watch list. How I mentioned that some of them might catch your eye, some of them might not. Look at it on all the time frames and see how it's behaving. Then try to have a mix of long and short candidates. Yeah, something which I didn't touch earlier. So when you look at the watch list, or when you're looking at the scanners, try to look for not just long entries or short entries, but mix of both. The reason being, if a market is going down on a, if a market is basically going down, then you want to bring in your short candidates. You don't want to only carry long candidates in your watch list, because you want to react based on the market. And it would be best if you have both the candidates going into a market, so that you can either short or long based on the market conditions, because you don't know, there might be a gap down tomorrow and all your long candidates are candidates no more. So when you are anyways doing the work filtering through all these scanners, you might as well look for some short candidates along with the long candidates. Then clearly write the levels you want to play during market hours. Because if you don't write the levels, if you are just writing, okay, I want to play AMAT, and if you during market hours, you get very little time to react, because if it's a support, it's going to move up quickly. So you want to write down your levels where you want to play to the long or the short side. I'll give you an example. So this one is a recent example, LRCX, where I wrote. So again, wow, this one is a 50-day moving average test. So this is when I analyzed one day before this. I analyzed, I think I posted it on Twitter. So this, if it goes below this level, 339 or 338, it would be a good shot. But what I wrote was over 340 or 351, these levels basically, it might be a good long, because the 50-day moving average would be defended beautifully. So going into the market, if it would have been a bearish day, this would have easily fallen down and we could have scored some short points here. But market was resilient and all the semis were doing good on that day. So it probably became a long candidate for the next day. Yeah, so this is something which I encourage everyone to contribute on the channel itself, with reasons as to basically do your homework, come up with some list of stocks which you're eyeing, and then post it in a room so that everyone can learn. I'll create a dedicated channel for folks to contribute. This will help everyone grow and help not just me, but everyone see the tickers which might be in play for the next day. And it doesn't have to be a short-term play. Like I showed that if a 200-day moving average crossover or a oversold bounce out of 200-day moving average, those can be a long-term play. So it will definitely help over time. I've seen the results in the past. Cool. Any questions on that? I think this was the last slide. Yeah. I can probably take some questions for the next 5-7 minutes. We don't have too many folks here, so we can probably end the meeting at 3. Any questions?
Can you do that like a little bit analysis on Apple and Tesla, because there was a stock split actually that happened. So just wanted to know how will be the trend.
Sure. So Apple, irrespective of the stock split, so tomorrow or day after, I think the TradingView will update the trend, but the trend actually still remains the same. This will how it will be. So I expect this usually on a stock on a very high demand stocks. This this yellow line, 9 is the first line of defense, 20 is the second, and 50 is almost the final until the 200-day. So I expect this to consolidate or come near this 490 area and then move up. Now I can't tell you how this is going to play, as in how the stock split is going to play, but we as traders can only react to some technicals level, and this is one level which I am immediately seeing. If you scroll down, this is 490, yeah, 493. This is first area, and then if it falls down due to any reason, then this gap fill is what I'll be trying to eye, a 470 area. So yeah, this is my Apple, and for Tesla, if yearly, yeah, again. So yes, either it touches this 2059 for 9 EMA test. If not, if it has to go, then basically what you can do is, if it's opening at a gap up, and gap up is above this previous high 2300 levels, then you can buy above 23 and place a stop under 2300, because when it goes up, it can just move swiftly. So this is how I'm going to play. There are a couple of, when you can't find an entry on daily, because or your entry is too far on daily, like how 9-day EMA is basically 2055, it's 200 points down. And if you're, then you can go into the shorter time frames, like an hourly time frame, and see where the support is. So I anticipate Tesla will bounce at 2120 levels, or it will just go off or go above 2300 and just never be back. It will just stay above there for some time.
Thank you. Yeah.
Any other question, anybody? Cool. All right, thank you guys. Thanks a lot for bearing with me. I hope this will be helpful and you can contribute on the channel and basically improve your trading.